Hi guys, how you doing out there? Hope you all are doing well. Welcome to Ophiuchus and me. I appreciate you for stopping by. I appreciate all of you guys that have liked, shared, comment, subscribed, or any of those things, and contributing to the growth of this channel. I appreciate you. Today is Saturday. I acknowledge Saturday as being the seventh day and the Sabbath. So Shabbat Shalom to you guys who honor it the same way. And Shabbat Shalom to those of you out there who may not. Pray that you are well. And I give God praise first and foremost before I do anything. So I was spending my time reading. That's what I was doing. And I was reading in the book of Ezekiel today. And it was talking about how God was upset with who he had appointed to be shepherds over his sheep. And they weren't doing their job and they weren't feeding their flock. And his sheep went scattered. So he said, well, you know, I'm mad at you because basically you weren't doing your job. You weren't feeding them. So, of course, what do you expect? They went looking and searching in other places. So, you know, like I say, my job here on this planet, I believe, is to first and foremost be a servant to him and faithful and loving and give that back to the people and in the best way that I can. And that's why I like doing tarot, you know, try to push out a little positivity whenever I can. And he appointed me to be somewhat of a shepherd in that sense, to feed people good things and knowledge to push them back in the right direction. I'll constantly do my part whenever I can. So guys, if you've never been here before, I do an oracle, I do index cards, and then I do 3 decks usually. But today's Saturday and I trip it up a little bit. I do an oracle, I do a couple of index cards. I pull one deck, 3 cards, and then I pull a different deck that has like some Hebrew and some biblical like type descriptions and meanings behind the card. And then I kind of try to wrap it up and like just sum it up on a Saturday, just a little bit different than the average reading. So if it's not your thing, I totally understand. And maybe you'll come back again and see what's going on tomorrow. All right, guys, today is Saturday, the 8th of October, 2022. So let's get it. I'm having an excellent day thus far. The sun is out, it's shining. And what's the temperature outside? It says it's 90. What did that say? Yeah, it says 91. Wow. It's kind of warm, that's for sure. But you know, it's all good. I love the sun. It also keeps my dogs quiet in the daytime. They don't do too much and they eat. But they cause drama in the evening. So anyway, guys, let me turn this down just a little bit. And here it says courage and bravery. And it looks like it's a young girl. I see a braid there. And she's holding her, it looks like some sort of flag or something, you know. And she has her shield there. And in the background, he's playing the violin. In the eye of a tiger, I am a champion. And you're gonna hear me roar. That's right. You know, let them hear you roar, okay? Be courageous and stand out from the crowd, okay, guys? Do what others are afraid to do, okay? Here we go. It says, your message. You have the heart of a warrior. You want to do what's right, but it isn't always easy. Angels are surrounding you in a light of courage at this time and guiding you to do what you know deep down in your heart is right. Being brave isn't about being emotionless. The angels are reminding you that it's okay to feel, and your vulnerability will allow you to tap into an even greater inner strength. Angels are always willing to help you feel safe, guided, and guarded. So call in as much help as you need. This is a time to take ownership of your energy in any situations that could be making you feel less than good. And through your courage, you will begin to attract experiences of being respected. So it says here, guys, an extended message. Your angels are here to remind you that your soul cannot be tarnished or harmed. It's the one part of your essence that always remains whole, healed, and complete. So if you are feeling the need to defend yourself at this time, angel wisdom is guiding you to back down. You don't need to protect yourself, especially when you have spiritual support. Call in the light of God, heaven, and angels to protect you. If you feel that you have made a mistake or have something that you need to share, be brave and take ownership of it. Trust that living with integrity will always lead to the greatest possible unfolding of your life. And now that the best gift that you can give the world at this time is your truth. That's deep, my friends. I love it though. That's what I'm about. I want the truth all the time. I want to share the truth all the time. We did the seers last night. I always take the yellow deck. It's either out of the door, always walking into a new door. What door did you just come from? Or soaring for, I think these. Soaring. Let's soar to the highest of the heights. Places where we haven't been yet. Places where we want to tread, where we want to go. Things we want to try out. Like I said, be that truth, be the change, be all of those things. So, oh, my nose is starting to itch. Must be saying something, huh? Okay. You know, even like, you know, me doing what I'm doing, you know, and, just saying my bits of truth or how I see things, or, you know, could spark something in someone else. You know, like I said, that's why I do the things that I do. And like on my other channel, when I did the end of the month energy reads, and when I did the love reads for October, I put out a bit of truth about sidereal astrology. Well, you guys are Ophiuchans, so you understand it already, but some people don't even understand what that is. Some people still haven't even heard of Ophiuchans. So I was just letting them know that everything here is kind of topsy-turvy, upside down, a lie, or whatever, you know. You have to dig further for truths here. And like everybody thinks we're in Libra season right now. The sun is in Virgo still. How are we in Libra season? You know, like things just don't make sense. But then when you start to do the research about things, it's like, oh wow, this is deep, you know. So you have to go out there and look and search and keep searching for things that were not given to you right off the top for a reason, to have a control over the masses, you know, so no one would understand anything, and just everybody out there, little sheep, just looking in all different directions without having any real guidance of any sort. Not even the base, the foundation. So when you don't have a real foundation, everything is, you know, any and everything is possible because you don't have a clue. Oh, I didn't get the index cards. Let me get a couple of those. So guys, appreciate you for being here with me today. And I pray that all of you guys are doing well today. And if you went out last night, I hope you had a good time. And I hope you know, didn't wake up with a hangover or anything like that. Or nothing, you know, too traumatic happened out there that you had to be a witness to or anything. And you're enjoying your day today. All right, guys. Here we go. So basically, also, like in the other deck that I pull from, I get 3 cards and I basically just read from the manual or the booklet that goes with the tarot deck. Excuse me. Are you a real low-key person? Not a lot of friends around you? Okay, let's see what we have. Okay, so here, you influence many, and so, you know, a lot of people probably look up to you, and you know this, or you're realizing this. So take that and go further with it. Okay, there are some people around you that are really wishy-washy, two-faced. It one day yeah, next day no, I don't know. Here, co-worker, love, or some sort of interest, maybe someone at your job. I don't know what's going on today, but something. Someone's name starts with the letter I. Maybe someone is going back to school for their Doctor of Philosophy, PhD. Or you just got it, congratulations. You're very comfortable at this time in your space where you are. They are still waiting on you to change your mind. And that may never happen. Someone may drive a Honda. Caution, there are some very low vibrational people near. Yes, something good is happening for someone. You like the milkshake and the burger and the fries type of thing. That's your go-to. Like I said the other day, I kept getting the islands card. And I literally just thought of the restaurant. They serve burgers and fries. And I've never eaten there. It's never too late to begin anew. Someone's name starts with the letter Y. YHWH. He's here. You had to do what you had to do. And maybe you need to go and to a play or, you know, a theater, watch a play or something like that. So, alright, I'm going to turn that down again. It got a little loud. So what do we have at the bottom? And then we can get started. So you're a very knowledgeable person because you influence people. And I guess that's just like within your circle, you know, maybe your family or something like that. And you know, you can definitely take your knowledge or your skill or your powers and help more people, okay? Or create something that no one has ever created to help people on this journey called life. So here we go, guys. Let's see what's at the bottom for you. I'm just going to pull 3 cards. We're going to keep it short and simple on this here day. I have to go back and dedicate the rest of my day and time to the Most High and read and concentrate and pray for the world. We are in some interesting times, you guys. All right, so appreciate you for being here, your time, your energy, your support, all of those things. Thank you so very much. Here we go. And here is a Son of Earth, which is the Knight of Pentacle. So you're just not rushing about anything. And like I said that the other day, you shouldn't rush through anything. What for? Why rush? When you rush through things, you miss things. Okay. It's the Empress card. So to get to the level of Empress, you have to go through many, many, many levels. And here, maybe you have to choose yourself to get to that level. Or you've left someone out in the cold and you've picked someone else. Or you've learned how to put away the things that you thought were worth something and decided to pick up something that is worth something. Okay, like, you know, I'm just going to use the example because we're here today on the Sabbath. So let's just say, for instance, you were an empress that, you know, got to a certain level and you were like very materialistic or something like that. Like everything just mattered, you know, my cars, my jewelry, all of that is so important. You know, you worked hard to get it, you spent your money on it, you know, you love and all those things, and you're beautiful, everybody, you're irresistible, everybody like just loves you. But you decided, you said, you know what, you finally like woke up to a different level and said, you know what, I'm missing a real foundation. Like, yeah, I was able to do all that, but how did I get there? You know, and like a lot of people just think, oh, because you're being blessed in that, right? Like, I never even said a prayer in my life, but I got all this stuff. I worked hard for this. I don't know. You talk about your God over here. I never prayed about anything. I just got what I got. Okay, well, I'm not gonna go into the depths of that either, because things are how they are, and we have a whole conversation on that and why those things will happen for you, but they can also be taken away like that also. So maybe something like that hadn't you realized, you know, like something else happened in your life or something, and it was only by the grace of God that you came out of the situation or something like that, and you're like, wow, like there is a God. I am being protected, you know, like, wow, you know, like, so maybe, you know, like, it was because of him that I got all these things, you know, like, you had to take time to really kind of acknowledge the powers that be and realize that you don't have any, you know, like, we have powers, but not like that. You don't have the type of power to save yourself, you know, when something bad is happening, right? So here you have the Judgment card, I believe. Okay, so like I said, you realized who's the real spirit guide here. That's what this read is about. You know, you really realize. So you took the time to stop loving all the artificial things and took it upon yourself to say, you know what, I know that there is a God. Okay, 3 of Wands at the bottom. So now your approach and now your walk and now your future and where you're going now has a different approach. Okay, let me pull 3 cards from this, guys, and then we'll just kind of wrap it up. All right. And I mean, this speaks to me just simple and plain. And like I said, it's never too late to begin anew. You know, like I said, to get to the Empress level is many levels. Many levels. And when I say levels, I mean because we only have 24 hours in a day, and we can't spend all 24 of them working. Even though some of us grind so hard, we can spend about 18 hours just working and not very, sleep that much, right? Trying to attain this level of success. But still, things are done, like we said the other day, cyclical. And you have to go to school. There's semesters. You have to pass. You have homework. You have tests. You have work in between. Who knows if you have any children, if you're in relationships. All these different levels of things that you still have to conquer every day. It's just interesting, jobs, starting at entry level, working your way up, just everything. Realizing who you are, your beauty, not allowing people to walk over you, and having respect for yourself, and all these things. Showing love and being support and things like that. Like, you were all those things, but for some awkward reason somewhere, like, you lost touch with who gave you all of that. So you're just trying to realign yourself, and then have the courage and the bravery to stand up and say, you know what, everybody, I couldn't have did this without him. Just period. I'm not going to sit here anymore and pretend like I did it myself, because I didn't. And people need to hear this, especially right now in these times. There's so much going on in the world. When I was a child, people shied away from the word God. It was almost like you couldn't say it, in an awkward type way, it was just weird. Like, it's hard for me to really break it down and explain it, because then I'll go into some other long conversation. And like I always say, it's not that I don't want to do it, but it's just not the time for that today. So maybe you're old enough and you can kind of go back into your own remembrance of the times, like outside of church. You never heard people talk about God and being thankful, at least not in my realm of things. Never. Not even at home. When you hear people say, only God, thank God, like, I couldn't have done any of this without God, and really teaching the children, you better thank God, I've been telling my children these things since they were babies, and I never stop. So, I mean, some people really understand, and some people are still searching. So, yeah. So let's see what we get. My nose is itching like crazy. I heard this like when tarot readers and things. I heard this only like one time. I don't know who it was, but like she was like, yeah, when you're like saying something that's true, like your nose starts itching like crazy, like you're hitting it on the nose for somebody, like on the nose, on the tip of the nose, like, oh my gosh, And it's funny because when she said it, I thought about that old TV show. I think it was Bewitched, like when she twinkles her nose and stuff, and she's like a genie or something like that, or I Dream a Genie. I don't know. I used to get those two shows mixed up, and it's from my mom's era. But I actually liked both of the shows. I thought they were funny. So however the case, Yeah. Yeah, my nose is going crazy. Let's see what we get now. If you're still here with me, I appreciate you. I know it's short and simple on this here Sabbath, but I appreciate you for being here with me. If you're still here, give me your time and your energy. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, please, and thank you. And of course, only if you like. I appreciate it all. Thank you so very much. So guys, I'm going to see what's at the bottom of this deck, but I'm not going to read from the book. Just want to see what's at the bottom. Interesting. A chemical wedding. So I believe that this has something to do with, like, taking that role, you know, of saying that I have went through all of these steps and I'm ready to basically tell the world who I am and who God is, you know. Alright. Oh my gosh, my nose. Alright. Let's see what 3 cards come out for you guys and what they mean. Because this book is so different. At the bottom, it's the death card. So, and then it says here, attribute, movement, marching, okay, traits, good fortune, and resentment. So a lot of people probably, you know, look at you sideways and things or whatnot, but this isn't about them, it's about you. So you have here a number 6, and I believe this is 6 of Pentacles. And at the bottom it says Tefereth, and that means beauty or Christ. Okay. And name of God, it says YHVH, but for me I say YHWH. And then here it says the color yellow and gold. Yellow is the solar plexus. So let me look up. Oh, I'm sorry. I turned right to it, and it's not even 6 of Pentacles. It's 6. It's 6 of Wands. So the 6 of Wands is victory in the normal tarot, right? So let me turn this down again so I can hear myself. So I'm gonna just read it to you guys. Okay, so here we go. It says here, the Sephira of Tefereth, which is beauty or honor, is on the middle pillar and represents a perfect balance between justice and mercy. Acts 10:42, or 2 Timothy 4:1, or 1 Peter 4:5. The card chosen to represent the 6s of the minor arcana is the 6 of Pentacles, which shows a man representing Yeshua holding a scale, symbolizing justice and showing mercy to the poor. Matthew 11:5. The Tephira of the Sephira of Tefereth represents Yeshua's purpose within God's foreordained plan. John 1:1, Matthew 13:35, John 17:24. It is God's mystery revealed in Christ. Romans 16:25, or Ephesians 1:9. I'm sorry, guys. In the book of Enoch, an angel revealed the secret of the Son of Man, stating, "This is the Son of Man, to whom righteousness belongs, with whom righteousness has dwelt, and who will reveal all the treasures of that which is concealed. For the Lord of spirits has chosen him." Enoch 46, 1-2. The book of Enoch is a mystical work that complements the New Testament. Enoch prophesied about the coming of the Messiah hundreds of years before Yeshua was born, and their teachings are consistent and compatible. Matthew 9:6, Luke 9:44-45. When discussing the 10 sayings or utterances, the Sefer Bahir, which also in parentheses says Book of Illumination, it states, "The sixth one is the throne of glory, crowned, included, praised, and held. It is the house of the world to come, and its place is in wisdom." 1176, translated in 1989. This Kabbalistic teaching unintentionally references the judgment aspect of Yeshua, who said, "When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, then he will sit on his glorious throne. Before him will be gathered all the nations, and he will separate them one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats." Matthew 25:31-32. Yeshua's kingdom is not Yeshua's kingdom is not of this world. John 18:36. But is in the world to come. Hebrew 2:5 and Revelations 21:5. The Sefer Bahir goes on to say that in the beginning there were two, and then it says in parentheses, types of, and then that's it. That's all it said in parentheses. Types of. There were two types of light, as it is written. In parentheses, "Let there be light." And then it says, "And there was light." The Blessed Holy One took one, in parentheses, of these types of light, in the parentheses, and stored it away for the righteous in the world to come. 1989. One of these lights represents the woman wisdom, who was the first creation, as described in chapter 1. And the other represents Yeshua as the light of the world. John 8:12. At the beginning of creation, the utterances included God's eternal plan, which included Yeshua's purpose as the Messiah, as stated in 1 Enoch. This Son of Man invoked before the Lord of Spirits and his name in the presence of the Ancient of Days, before the sun and the signs were created, before the stars of heaven were formed. His name was invoked in the presence of the Lord of Spirits. A support shall he be for the righteous and the holy to learn upon, without falling, and he shall be the light of nations. Enoch 48:2-3. God's plan for redemption through the Messiah, existed prior to creation within the logic, excuse me guys, of God. Revelation 21:23 through 24. God's plan, in parentheses, providence, represents the value, purpose, and intent. Wisdom is the spirit, breath, and sound being manifested, in parentheses, given life. And Yeshua represents the visual symbol of the Hebrew letter, which expresses both the spirit and intent of the letter. So then it goes down and it starts to talk about the Hebrew letter Vav. Okay. I'm just going to read this one small part. It says the Vav connects Kether, which is heaven or the crown, and Malkuth, which is earth or the kingdom, through Christ's role as Messiah, Matthew 28:18 and Hebrews 7:25. Yeshua is the door, John 10:9, of Shazed, through which reconciliation is made possible, Romans 5:11. The Hebrew letter Dalet means door and is an aspect of the Hebrew letter Yod, which is spelled Yod Vav Dalet. The Dalet standing on its own seems like it would be off balance or top heavy. So the Hebrew letter Yod, the hand of God, supports the Dalet, which forms the letter He. The door, John 10:7, is supported by God, 1 Corinthians 15:27, and embodies the spirit of wisdom, Colossians 2:9. So, this card right here basically represents wisdom and balance and understanding that God is God. He has a plan for everybody, and he had a plan for his son Yeshua to be the light, to show people the way, and you too have a special light to show people the way, like I was saying earlier about the whole shepherd thing. And then it came up in the reading, you know, it said, before him will be gathered all the nations, and he'll separate them from one another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. So you want to be separate from the goats, you know, and find your way back even without that shepherd, you know, that you once didn't have, you know. But some way, somehow, some sort of shepherd found you and ushered you back in and pushed you in the right direction. So, yeah, like always, be the light, you know, be the change, and influence many, you know, because if it's never needed, it's needed more right now in these times. Just like so serious, you know. The world is hurting in a lot of different places, in a lot of different areas, and it needs as much light as we can give it. Okay, so this next one is, it looks like it's a 9 of Pentacles, but I just don't know. Yes, and it's really short. So here we go. It says here, the Nine of Pentacles is titled Masculine Triangle. The masculine triangle consists of the Sephiroth of Kether, Geburah, and Shazed. Kether is the crown, Geburah is strength, and Shazed is mercy. Okay. And represents God as a just and compassionate ruler. Isaiah 30:18, Hosea 2:19, and Zechariah 7:9. The triangle forms the alchemical symbols for fire and air. Written in the circles are the first 3 of the 10 commandments. Inside the triangle is the 4-letter name of God arranged in a tetraaxis. I don't know how to say that word. To represent the 10 Sephiroths in the Kabbalah. The 4-letter name of God is not to be used in vain. So whenever the name appeared in the Old Testament, in the word Adonai, or in parentheses Lord, was substitute for the divine name. In English Bibles, the word Lord in uppercase letters denotes YHWH being used. It says V, but I say W. God also identified himself as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham was the first to follow God. Isaac was the child of the promise, and Jacob is the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. So maybe you are getting like a dose of truth out there, and starting to understand how deep this situation is even in the world today, with like the people who, like myself, like I believe that I'm one of those scattered around the world. It says that there will be so many, it's like sand of the sea, you know. It's too many to count how large those tribes are today in time, okay? But it's a lot of people. And yeah. And all the lies that have been told about this particular group of people, right? The bloodline of David, or God's children, God's chosen, or whatever, however you want to word it. It's crazy, you know. But there are a lot of different truths that are coming up out of being unearthed, out from the grave, whatever. However, it's just a lot of information that's coming back out to the surface about certain groups of people and things like that. And still, regardless of how that goes, God created all nations, not just the Israelites, okay? He just wanted them to kind of like be an example, kind of like be righteous all the way, show the other nations how to love me, be that example. You're supposed to be my children. I'm, you know, so how is it that you can't even follow the directions, you know, properly, you know? So that's why they got punished, or we got punished, or however, right? You know, so, but still, like I said, he created everybody, you know, and good, bad, this nation, that nation, he created everybody. And he's waiting for people to stop with their nonsense, stop with their foolishness, stop with their illness, and come back to him and give him praise and honor and thanks, you know. And it looks like that's what you're really realizing. Some truths came to you, and you realize how deep this really is. And like I said, some people may be looking at you like, oh my gosh, what is going on, you know, with this person, you know. Why are they telling people this, you know? I mean, no offense to anyone, like, you could be a white person, you know, and you are really like convinced that, you know, things have been a little weird, you know, and then you start putting puzzle pieces together and things really don't make sense the way that they tell it, and you're like, you know what, this is not right. You know, I believe in God, you know, and I believe, you know, X, Y, and Z too, and people need to know that even people like myself understand, you know, and we're not here to cause any more strife or any issues or anything like that, you know, like, we come in love, we come in peace, or whatever, you know. Like myself, like I was saying the other day, I'm not here to, you know, just go around treating people ill just because they're a different color than me. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all, you know. I have a lot of people in my family that were married in different races of nationalities of people, all different types of stuff. I grew up in Caucasian neighborhoods. I mean, all kinds of stuff. I don't look at people one way or the next. I just look at your character, you know. Are you a kind person? Are you, you know, I don't know if you're evil. Evil people can't hide, you know. They're just evil, you know. They try, but it fades, you know, very quickly. And not all white people are evil. I don't think that, you know, or any other nationality of people, you know, Asian, Indian, whatever, you know. I give everybody a fair opportunity to be who they are presenting themselves to be, if that makes sense, you know. But that's not for me to be worried about in this time, you know. God is the ultimate ruler and judge, and he will make the call if, you know, if need be, if anything needs to happen. And I'm not here for anything but to just like I said, be a positive person out here and push you back to God as much as I can, you know. No, I'm not here to turn my tarot channel into a sermon or anything like that, but I don't see anything wrong with giving God praise and acknowledging him. It's up to you if you stay. You don't have to stay, you know. It's simple, you know, but it's just that simple. Whoever I'm talking to, you really are starting to realize that, you know, there is a God, and you've come into a lot of different information that you may find to be true or understand where it's coming from, and you're like, wow, this place is just something else, you know. Like, I would have never thought, you know. But however the case, guys, that's enough of that. Let's see what we get here. This last card, it says 8. Looks like an 8 of Wands. Let's see what we get. So this is the last card, guys. And let's read from it if I can find the meaning. Interesting. We went from 6 and then jumped to 8. So you being the light, realizing where that light comes from, right? And how deep all of it really is, into having this glory. Okay, here it says name of God, Elohim of hosts, and the color is yellow. I'm sorry, orange. So maybe you may be like really passionate about, you know, telling what you know in your angle, or however, I'm not too sure. So here, usually an 8 of Wands speaks of movement, right? And at the bottom we have the Death card, and it said movement. So things are definitely moving. That's for sure. So let's read. It says, it's not that long either, guys. Not that long at all. It says, the Sephirah of Hod represents glory, honor, and authority. Moses put some of his Hod on Joshua, Numbers 27:20, and passed his authority on to him. Hod also represents the majesty that God gave to King Solomon, 1 Corinthians 29:25. Hod is the first Sephiroth on the pillar of severity. It represents being made perfect and obtaining glory through suffering. My nose, you guys. Woo. Hebrews 2:10 and Romans 5:3. James 1:1-3, and 2 Corinthians 4:17. Those who share in Christ's suffering will also share in his glory. Romans 8:17. John 17:22, and 1 Thessalonians 2:12. The Shekinah is the indwelling glory of God. Wisdom 7:25, and Sirach 1:11-19, and Baruch 4:1-4. Whoever loves and holds fast to wisdom will obtain glory. Sirach 4:12-13. Solomon's relationship with wisdom, in parentheses, who was a gift from God, led to him being endowed with majesty and authority. Proverbs 8:15. The Sephirah of Hod represents a son of the doctrine, being the great work immediately following the chemical wedding. Remember, we had that card at the bottom when we first started. It was on the 7th day of the chemical wedding of Christian Rosencreutz that Christian Rosencreutz vowed to follow the code of the Knights of the Golden Stone, and he resigned himself to doing the will of the king, in parentheses, at which point he was already victorious based on his intent. The 8th day would mark the beginning of Christian Rosencreutz's actual chemical wedding, in parentheses, the start of his trials, baptism of the fire and the spirit. But those events were not contained in the story. The wheel with 8 spokes in the symbol of spirit, and the emblem is found throughout the Rider-Waite deck. 8 pointed stars are also a reference to the spirit of wisdom. The number 8 turned on its side becomes a symbol of eternity. Wisdom, Sirach 24:9, will exist for all of eternity, as will those she aids through the chemical wedding. Galatians 6:8. The Hebrew letter Shet, with the value of 8, is associated with both Hod and the chemical wedding. The Sefer Yetzirah lists Shet as one of the 12 simple letters and connects it with speech. The apostles were told not to worry about what they would say, because they will be led by the Spirit. Matthew 10 and 20. So here, Shet. I'm just going to read a small amount because it says here next the Hebrew letter Shet. And this is the Hebrew letter Shet. And here up here it says wedding canopy, and down here it says speech. So it says here, reducing 13 further produces a value of 4, which speaks to the covenant of the steadfast love of God associated with Shazed. The chemical wedding represents the union of the soul of the alchemist with the spirit of wisdom in response to a covenant and willingness to follow God. The union also represents physical couples, since the glory of a man is his wife. 1 Corinthians 11 and 7, Proverbs 12 and 4. When Yod is combined with Shet, it produces the word life. Shet and Yod. And represents the life given to those who choose to follow the commandments of God and select life over death. Deuteronomy 3:19 and John 5 and 24. So, you have been given life, light. You have been shown the way. You have been granted an opportunity to live through Christ, live for Christ. So be courageous, be brave. And I appreciate you guys for being here with me. I really do appreciate you. Be good out there. Enjoy the rest of your Sabbath. It is a commandment to keep the Sabbath holy. Shabbat Shalom. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care out there. Bye-bye.